make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of our VR discussion on Level 2 Couch Conversations, a new series we're starting up that we're going to have with a pretty frequent regularity. If you haven't seen the other video, you can check out
click the link down there or up there somewhere.
To
the
see
card,
what we talk about.
I'll have a card pop up.
Yeah, we talk about pricing in the last episode.
Pricing and the different types there are.
Yeah, and the different type, and what we think needs to happen to have it be successful,
Yes.
or where it's going to be successful.
So in this one, let's talk about games from both a consumer standpoint and developer standpoint, what we know is coming, what we hope is coming. So let's start with what's at launch for a lot of these things.
Which I have done. I do know that there's going to be the Mega Robot Golf.
PlayStation VR has 17 games at launch in October.
Yeah.
I think Oculus has 30, doesn't it?
Yeah, Oculus has 30 starting on March 28th.
The thing is, though, you have to clarify a game, because a lot of these are just experiences.
So that's one of the things I was going to say, is you're going to hear the word experience a lot more than a game.
Yeah.
Because technically, any game on PlayStation will work with the VR because they have the cinematic mode. So you can play. You could play Uncharted 4 with the VR headset on just a giant TV, which I think is a cool concept if you live in like an apartment like I do, where I have a decent sized TV, but if you didn't, or in a dorm room, you could have a 120-inch TV.
New York apartments.
So Oculus Rift has like Adrift. They have Eve-Valkyrie, which I know is coming out. Eve-Valkyrie I know is coming out on the Vive, I think, as well. You have, Eve Gunjack as well. You have Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is coming out on the Oculus Rift, which I think could be a cool experience because that game was gorgeous.
Those guys do the walking simulator thing really well, and this environment is perfect for those games.
And then there's Lucky's Tale, which is like a third-person platformer or whatever. And so those are some of the games that are going to be there with Oculus Rift.
The big PlayStation game I'm excited for, one of the reasons I kind of want to get it, is this game's actually been out for over a year now. Project Cars, when they announced it, said it's going to be, at the time, Morpheus compatible, but PlayStation VR compatible. And to me, as long as I don't get sick racing a car, I love racing in first person, but the hardest part is using the right stick to look at your mirrors to see around you. Yeah. Just how natural it would be to move your head. And that's a perfect example, like you're talking about walking sims or something like that, where you don't have to really move that much, or there's not
about like super combo.
And there's not like I don't think we'll see a first-person shooter VR game done well anytime soon.
Not on the first generation
because of how quickly things are.
Yeah.
They do have those like
you have to keep in mind motion sickness.
I don't honestly know what the correct name, but they kind of look like little treadmill things, and they hold you in place. So you
there was a Kickstarter for those.
They haven't.
If something like that was
in
it, I think you'd be okay. Otherwise, you're kind of a little bit bound by the rules of.
Well, the other thing too is, from a motion sickness standpoint, is your brain thinks it's doing something. From the videos I've watched on YouTube, people who already have this, like I watched Jacksepticeye play a Portal demo, which
looked pretty cool.
It was freaking fantastic watching him play that, because he was like, you're so immersed in this world, and it's hard to explain. This is one of those technologies I think people are going to have to try before they have a final decision on it, because there's no way to showcase it 100%.
Yeah. I will say though that VR or PlayStation VR probably has the most interesting lineup of games. And
it's got the most developers, I think, backing it from the get-go.
Like Oculus Rift has some really heavy hitters behind it, but like you have I really think the idea of 1,000-foot tall robot sounds awesome. Like just anything with robots is going to be cool.
Yes. Riggs is the big.
Riggs is going to be one of the big. That's a big mech game as well. And then there's also Golem, which is like the narrative driven, where there's a girl who has like a magical connection to a giant golem. So there's a lot of these like kind of more magical and science fiction.
These are games that are built for VR. Yeah. Like they're not added on. And I think there's going to be a lot of games kind of like connected, where it's like Kinect enabled, VR enabled. Yeah. You have a VR experience within a.
I think it's actually quite exciting that we might actually get the comeback of the Japanese game industry based off the back of this, because I think if you're looking at mystical magical lands and being able to wander around, or like mech robots and things like that, that's exactly
well there was a tech demo for Sword Art Online. I don't know if you saw that. It wasn't really much of anything. They were in a city, but he was putting out his hands and doing stuff like that.
That's super meta, by the way.
Oh, it's 100%.
But at the same time, that's exactly where those types of developers shine. If you can imagine the whimsical nature of trying to be inside a Studio Ghibli masterpiece, I think those guys have got a real chance at coming back big with VR.
Two experiences, because they're not games, that I think are going to sell really well just because the name attached to it is the Star Wars experiences. ILM is working on something specific for Vive, which is one of the reasons I would love that. Where they have a video on YouTube. You can go to the ILM channel and see it. But it's a Tatooine experience where you get to control a lightsaber and all that kind of stuff, and you get to look around and fix the Millennium Falcon. And then they announced for PlayStation VR a Battlefront experience. They didn't go into too much detail about it. They had a trailer for it. That's about it that we know about it. But I love Battlefront. I love Star Wars. So that to me is, it'll be interesting to see what if it's $60, I don't know if I'll do it. That's the problem with these experiences is like how do you price them? Is it a $20 thing? Is it a
that is a good point.
I am looking forward to Until Dawn.
Oh, I'm not.
VR.
Do you guys? Oh, what was the horror game one that everybody was doing? Was it PT?
Yeah.
That everybody's freaking the fuck out and like trying to rip the.
Well, that
thing off
might
their
not
head?
have been PT.
I can't remember what it was.
A paranormal activity
That's
experience.
it.
Yeah.
There's something where people were playing and they were like
There's a
ripping the
couple of
headsets
those.
off.
Yeah.
Headsets off.
You know what? I'm actually really excited about the Shark Tank demo. I know that sounds lame, but I've always wanted to go in a Shark Tank, but I'm super actually
Scared of
terrified
sharks?
of it. Yeah. So like
Why are
to
you
be
scared
able
of
to
sharks?
kind of hang out in the ocean and if it's truly immersive, that'll be amazing.
So one of the things that I think will make PSVR and any VR successful is it has to be mainstream. It has to be successful outside of the games industry.
100%.
I think movies will be a big thing.
Absolutely.
I don't think television will be a big thing because television takes forever to do
Concerts
anything.
might be a big.
I think.
Well, I was thinking vacations and stuff like that too. Like picture wanting to go to France. You put this thing on and you're there. I mean, it's not the same, obviously.
I
and
think
I don't
that's
think it's
also
replace it.
10 years down the line.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because that's
Yeah.
more so, I think, what we thought about in the 90s, where it was like, because I watched Strange Days the other day, or,
Good movie.
and I mean, like, he sells experiences where, like, people wear a headset and it, like, just jacks into their brain, and then he sells those recordings of things. So if someone wants to, like, rob a bank, he buys it from a bank robber and then sells it to, like, Joe Schmo who wants to get, like, that fix. Or if he wants to, like, someone wants to have sex with 3 women at a time, like, it also, like, then gets into those, like, the sensation in your body
That's
and everything.
the difficult part of it is that like right now it's an optical thing and maybe an audio thing to the sense that there's surround sound, but you like how do you tap into the point where
The
you
feel
get
and
smell
touch.
and
Yep.
touch and all that?
Which I don't think is too difficult. Like,
I mean,
there's a-
neurologically it's kind of difficult.
So, well, like, what I'm thinking is R.L. Stein's 4D, like, I think it's at SeaWorld or something, where they, like, you'll sit in there and they'll puff a thing of air by your butt to make it feel like a mouse or a rat running underneath
But
you,
then
or
would
like
you have to buy
spray
like
water.
the PlayStation smellometer for
Well,
your
what
room?
that's
So
what,
it's
well,
like
what I'm saying
outside
is like
air, you know?
maybe it's an attachment on the camera. So right now the VR just covers your eyes, just make it a mask essentially.
Maybe.
Like
I
you close
think-
your nose and mouth in there, and you've got that experience, which would be a little weird because I think it'd be
A lot of
claustrophobic.
games take place in some places that look like they smell of piss, so I'm not sure how
You'd want that.
I would want to
happy I'd be
play
about that.
Bloodborne, but like I think that one thing that we didn't mention that I've been thinking about a lot is like architects. I think could utilize this fantastically, or like home renovators or like interior designers to be like, okay, like here's this floor plan that we have.
How do you like it?
I would like you to walk through this 100-story building and see how this actual layout is, or like we're gonna renovate your home. Here's the idea that we have, like, and then you could walk room to room and kind of see what the
everything
changes would be. So I think that's like a cool potential for it. And I think what I'm looking forward to the most is when we start to get to graphic styles that aren't like the photorealistic.
Because yeah.
Because like you mentioned Studio Ghibli, like I would love to be able to, like, there's Ni no Kuni on the PS3. I would love to be able to like be a part of an anime world, or be a part of, like, if I played I don't know if you guys ever played Rez for the like just this I know that they're doing a Rez for VR, and Oculus Rift or whatever, but like I think it would be neat to all of a sudden just like be in a Tron world where you just look down and like your hands are pixelated, or like playing like a retro PS1 game but from the first person, like Minecraft or some shit, or like you put your hands up and there's just little blocks.
And
like
you can see it.
I think the realistic side of everything is cool, but I'm already in the realistic side of everything. Like I want to get those experiences out of VR that I can't
only
get
get
somewhere
in
else.
VR.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I think that that's the thing that, on top of people outside of gaming needing to buy into it, I think they need to quickly be like, which is why I'm excited for like Golem or 1,000 Foot Tall Robot Golf. is because it's like, okay,
It's a
I'm
unique
not
experience.
I'm not ever gonna be inside a 1,000-foot tall robot, at least not for
You don't
the
know that.
next 15 years, maybe.
Like,
Like,
start a company.
I swear to God, if there's a Pacific Rim game on one of these things,
You
where
would
I can just,
yell
or
over
like a Godzilla game, like I feel like that Godzilla, like for the PS3, the one that we played, that was kind of meh.
The stupid one.
Would have been cool if you like, you know, were moving and like you were actually Godzilla, like
And you're-
breathing fire, and
Then
like,
that could work
eating
well because
things.
it's a slower paced game.
Yeah.
And that's the secret, I think, for the games in general, is that they do need to maintain a certain amount of slower paced experience
Initially,
over
until the technology
arcade,
gets there.
until the technology
Yes.
catches up.
Because I like
Motion
playing
sickness.
Devil May Cry or some shit like that, like trying
Picture
to,
like Tekken or something.
and then like do a backflip. I physically can't. Like, what do you do then? You just flip your hair back and forth, like
Yeah.
at that point, and.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video, and don't forget that we are currently in the midst of a GoFundMe to try and help our channel produce better content for you, specifically around the world of VR. We're excited to try and dip our heads into that arena, and we need a little bit of help to do so. So thanks again for watching, and if you need to get to the link, it should be right down here somewhere. Just check it out, and if you can help, help. If not, it's cool. Just watch the next video.
We still love you.